It's been like Skyrim on the phone, Skyrim on your Switch, Skyrim on the Wii U, Skyrim on the... It's like, did you just put the Skyrim reverse compatible on that original Xbox, like, at this point? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show you look forward to every 2 weeks here live on the 100 Thieves YouTube channel, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and more, hopefully, production.
Google Podcasts, right? We're there.
Yeah, now we are.
Perfect.
Will be.
Yeah, so or we're going to have less staff next time. The CouRage and Nadeshot Show, the #1 gaming podcast on Apple Podcasts with over 1,200 5-star ratings. One of those 5-star ratings coming from Barry_3, who said, I absolutely love the podcast. Nadeshot and CouRage's bond and personalities flow so well together. You never know what you're going to get. You don't have to be a huge gamer to enjoy the podcast. They cover various topics. I'm so excited to see what's in store with the future for them.
Jack, from now on, when you read these reviews, you should look down at the paper and then also look up at the camera as you're reading.
I don't care enough about the YouTube viewers. I'm out there
Honestly,
with the audio viewers.
it's
Matt's
hard
got
for
the
me.
YouTube viewers. I'm with the audio viewers. Shout out to you guys. High five.
It's hard for me to believe
couldn't
that
see
you
that.
were a broadcast professional for so long.
Hey, man, someone's got to teach you how to be good. Might as well be me. Folks, this is a special day. Today,
Very special
the man
day.
we have on is one of the largest gaming personalities in the world, both physically and number-wise. He has built up a incredible community and brand. He is a new father, a loving husband, and one of my best friends.
I feel like you're reading his obituary.
Yeah, dude,
Okay.
I'm still here, bro.
Come on. It's none other than TimTheTatman.
TimTheTatman. Yeah. It's great to see you. No, you should absolutely clap.
Yeah,
for
you deserve
yourself.
it.
If anybody should be clapping for yourself, it should be you. Tim is here visiting for E3, and he's actually staying at the Cash App Content House, and he is graciously decided that he was going to join us on our podcast for our 3rd ever episode. I feel like with all the things that you have accomplished and the things that you have done in the gaming community, I couldn't think of a better guest. So it's great to have you on the show.
Hey, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you letting me stay here. Obviously, it's awesome. So it's good to be out here. And I watched Valkyrie's podcast, and I was like, that seems pretty lit. And I love an opportunity to do it. So thanks for having me. Appreciate that.
Let's go.
Can we fabricate a 5-star Apple Podcast review from TimTheTatman? I watched the podcast; it seemed pretty lit. So I watched the podcast; it was pretty lit, dude. So nice.
I honestly feel like this is probably just going to be a conversation between both of you because I basically only have one question and then I'm good. Probably won't hear me speak for the rest of the show.
It's okay.
Can you guys give me an idea of where the Girthquake originated from and explain the Girthquake to me?
Wait, can we hang on that for 1 second so we can thank Cash App, Matt?
Well, listen,
True.
Cash App, they know how much I love them, but yeah, do the ad read.
I just want to make sure they know.
I'm going to do the ad read this time. Give me yours. Your
You
paper's
literally
all messed
have
up.
that paper.
Take some.
No, I know, but our producers did not have the entire page printed out. I don't know.
What do you mean me? Sorry, having to be here for this.
I think 100 Thieves has ran out of
Hey, Cash
all
App.
capital because we could not print the entire
Cash App. Can we have a little bit more money to get more ink? Thanks.
Printer ink
need
is
it.
very expensive.
We need it. We can't
Okay.
afford ink.
Jack, now pay attention.
Yes.
I know all the audio viewers are listening via headphones or in their car, but if you're on the YouTube channel where you should be, I'm going to read this properly. The CouRage and Nadeshot Show is brought to you by the Cash App, the #1 finance app in the App Store. Cash App, the most powerful way to spend, save, and send. It's connected to the free Cash App card, the only debit card with Boost. Just select a Boost in your Cash App, then instantly save at your favorite place, like 10% at Chipotle. Or $1 off.
I also love Chipotle.
I love Chipotle as well. And $1 off at all coffee shops. Pretty unbelievable. Wow. They're always adding new boosts, so check yours often. Best of all, most boosts are unlimited, which means you can use them to save at your favorite spots over and over again. Now, God damn, I messed it up. Not ready to switch debit cards? You don't have to. Cash App lets you instantly transfer funds to save your cash card for free. So when you see a boost you like, just add funds, swipe, and save. It's that easy. Jack, I'm knocking this out of the park.
Matt, you literally have barely looked up at the camera.
I have. I've been doing this properly. I used to read scriptures at Catholic Church. Cash App is the most Cash App is the most convenient way to buy Bitcoin.
Left field, I think.
Most Bitcoin exchanges require 5 days or more for bank transfers to become investable. But with Cash App, they only take seconds. So make sure you download Cash App from the Cash App Store or Google Play Market today.
If you don't use Cash App, then you're not my friend.
If you don't use Cash App, then fuck you.
Hey, that's our slogan. And, you know what? After meeting some of the awesome people at Cash App, I think they're going to love that. Perfect.
Listen, guys, it's the best way to manage
Your money ever.
and spend money and send money. It's fantastic. Cash App. It's where the cash is at.
Just download it.
Lit.
Tim.
Now explain the Girthquake, please, guys.
Well, how I can't remember was it me, you? Was it me and you first, or was it me, you, Marcel?
I think we that was when we were able to play together almost every single day because our schedules were like synced up, and it was me, you, and Marcel in some capacity. But it was the jokes originally were made because two or three hefty guys in a lobby, and earthquake and fall damage and everything. And then it was one of those things where, like so many times on Twitch chat, whenever you talk about something where you got to throw in ideas, and then you've got the community starting to throw in their ideas in the hat. I'm pretty sure Girthquake was just something that just appeared in the Twitch chat.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I don't even think we technically. I think it was almost a Twitch chat came up with it. Like, wow, all these heavy guys playing together. Girthquake, it's like an earthquake, and they're fat. Yep. And then we're like, yeah, dude, Girthquake, it's freaking lit.
So it just stuck.
Yeah, it did. It did just stick. And basically, I think the core of it is we're overweight.
That's like the founding founding belief of the Girthquake.
And the rest of the Girthquake members hold solace in that. We all
think it's like 200 plus pound. That's you can consider yourself Girthquake material.
So if I spent the summer just loading up to get ready, I need a dirty bowl.
Yeah. Oh, you
could I join the Girthquake?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dylan Francis is an honorary member. He's like one of our few honorary members.
Wait, is that because Dylan has girth?
Maybe
in all the right places.
Yeah, he carries it really well, though. Carries it really well. But.
Well, listen, Tim, we have a lot of things going on in your life.
A lot.
I actually, you know what? I was trying to think. I mean, we know probably about the people that are going to watch this podcast, but if you discover it like on iTunes or Spotify, you probably don't. I mean, you might not know so much about our guests. So if you could just give us a little background of who you are, where you came from, how you ended up in the position that you are in the gaming community, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah. So I'm TimTheTatman, and I've been streaming on Twitch.tv since late 2012 was the first stream I ever did. And so I'd been doing, streaming and, broadcasting for years now. And recently, I would say, I was holding steady for a really long time, kind of through my career. I'll throw in air quotes there, but like Call of Duty to CSGO to Overwatch to now Fortnite. And then really this whole Fortnite thing kind of really gassed everything up, obviously, blew the ceiling off what I thought Twitch was. Yep. And that's kind of really been growing a lot. But
well, you were absolutely crushing on Overwatch, I remember.
Yes, 100%. And Overwatch, and I say this, I still say this, even though Overwatch for me right now is not in my favorite position seasonally where we're at as far as the meta is, I still love the game. I just did my placements. I just played it again, I think it was about a week ago now. So I still will revisit it. And Overwatch undeniably grew my channel tremendously. Undeniably, just made my viewership on Twitch and everything really go up a
even
lot.
after all this, you posted 50,000 likes and I did my placement on stream or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And, I looked, there was 60,000.
Well, I originally said 30. So I originally was like, all right, 30,000 likes on this tweet, and I'll do my placements, and I'll stream over.
Oh, yeah. And that's what I replied into.
And then
it was
for
50K.
Yeah, it hit 30K before my stream was done. It was 3 hours later. It was at 30,000 likes. I was like, wait, I'm at 50K. wait. and then it hit 55, and I don't know, present day where it's at, but I think it's it was upwards of 60 to 70K likes on it. So
have you heard the rumors of Overwatch 2?
I heard a little bit about it. I don't know what I don't know because I don't know what the plan really is there because Overwatch is an evolving game. Yeah. So when I heard Overwatch 2, I'm like, well, your game already evolves. So what do you? I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. I heard about it. I didn't really look too much into it because I was kind of I don't really know.
I think that's the biggest question that I have. Because I played Overwatch probably the first week and then never touched the game again. Like for me, I really love FPS shooters or like just the shooter genre in general. When the kills that you get, eliminations that you get, it's like instant gratification. Like Call of Duty, like the kill time is really low. Like Halo, I think is even pushing it. That was my first love, where it's like 4 shots and they're dead. But I can be in like and again, I don't know, but like shooting somebody for like 30 seconds and I'm like, what's going on? Why aren't you dying?
Oh, when you're facing like a Roadhog or Diva or something like that, you can go on.
It's unbelievable.
Some really.
I just hate that aspect of it, but from what I understand, they do build off the game and it continues to evolve and they add new in-game content. And so I'm curious if Activision or Blizzard's mindset through it is, okay, we have a traditional franchise like Call of Duty, we come out with a game every single year. How much of a financial opportunity we're missing out on if we don't create another evolution of the game like Overwatch 2?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be like in my head. I'm like, all right, is it going to be the same style? Or is it going to be new characters?
I thought I heard some rumor of like
completely different. You know,
I don't know if it was Overwatch that I heard the rumor about, but like it was something like with like a little bit more of like a campaign style.
I think
thing.
I think
with the actual multiplayer experience as well. But Overwatch, because I fell in love with it when it came out, like that was insane. I remember it was right before the Overwatch League was launching, and I was working out here at ESL. And that was when like Puckett and Mr. X for months knew like they were going to work on Overwatch League, and I remember being like, "Damn, well, that's exciting! Like, you guys are gonna go crush it. They're moving to LA, you know, and doing the whole thing." But for me, you know, I did love Overwatch. I'm still really interested in like how much they've put skins in game for teams and stuff like that. Like that stuff looks super dope.
OWL, they did everything really right.
I mean, they've invested so heavily into it. That studio is incredible too. But at the same time, like I've struggled with that as well. Any game where like I have to solo queue and worry about 5 other people is where the worst comes out in me. Same as with League of Legends ranked. Same as with Overwatch ranked, dude.
Yeah, that's one thing that really took me away from it. The biggest issue I had with Overwatch and why I had to stop playing it as regularly was because you could do so well individually. You can pop off, right? And you can still lose SR at the end of the game. And you're just like, I did everything right. Whereas in CSGO, your whole team can die, right? And then you can pop off and you can win. So it's like Overwatch is like you can do everything right, but back season 3, season 4, when I was playing a lot of Overwatch, let's say everyone's working together, but you have someone that really loves playing Symmetra. I love Symmetra. That's my favorite character.
I totally know who that character is, 100%.
Yeah, right. Is it
the one with the throwing stars?
It's Genji, please.
Genji. Oh, young Genji. That's where Fwiz got his name.
Yeah.
Sorry. I apologize.
But Symmetra was like, at the time in like season 3, season 4 was, I don't want to use the word useless.
Abysmal. Literally the worst thing ever.
Not helpful.
Yeah.
And so you have 5 people that are like all working together and cooperating. And then you have a Symmetra that's like it's like, all right, dude, here's some turrets.
So I don't know if you remember, but they used to have like the defensive champions. Like when you look at the Overwatch characters, it was like tanks, healers, attack, defense. So they had these heroes that were literally meant for defense, and they were all about like having to get to a position, fully set up, and then they could hold their own. But once that full setup is broken, then they're like, oh, now I'm basically useless. Well, people would one trick and would play the defense heroes on offense, and you're like, why is there a fucking Torbjorn turret in our base when we have to push forward and get this thing? Like, how do you place turrets on their side of the wall, Symmetra, you jackass?
I love the fact that you guys know the game really well because I just don't. I love how much the community rallied behind the game and how people are so passionate about Overwatch.
Absolutely.
I just think for me, like my opinions that I stemmed from Overwatch is I'm obviously very tied to esports and like the Overwatch League. We had to decide whether we were going to participate in the league. It was like really expensive. And I guess the number one thing for me, and I don't know if you guys can agree with this, if you don't understand the game or you don't play the game heavily, it's very overwhelming to watch. Like the pace of the game is so unbelievable. And I mean, to its credit, like League of Legends is also very hard to watch. Like if you bring anybody to an LCS match and they've never watched the game before, it's like watching another language that's happening in another dimension. It's unbelievable. But I've been playing FPS my entire life, and I still have a really hard time figuring out what's happening in Overwatch.
I played Overwatch a ton, and I would watch these fights in OWL, and it's like I understand basically what's happening, but it's just like because both the teams basically go right at each other. You have all the alts popping, and then the camera just kind of goes up, and there's like, all right, Zaryagrav here, Transcendence over here, and just Lucio dropped the beat over here.
Yeah.
And it's just so many things happening. Like, I'm looking at them like, there's no way anyone that doesn't understand Overwatch can watch this and be like, yeah, I'm getting what's happening here.
Yeah.
Because I'm watching, I'm like, I can't really tell what's happening here. Both the teams are using all their alts.
It actually makes me feel so much better.
Oh, I think I peaked at like in my Overwatch play. I was like top 1,000, like North America, like was right on the cusp of like TP was pushing top 500. We would do it together, and
I played against TP a lot.
oh yeah, TP's insane. And I remember watching. I remember watching matches, and when someone would be like, "Isn't the game tough to watch?" I'm like, I'm almost one of the top like 500 players in North America, and I would watch Overwatch matches, and I think I have a very good understanding of the game, and I would be like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Oh, yeah.
Like genuinely, what is happening?
Fortnite's the same way though. Endgame.
Oh, Endgame.
Fortnite.
Yeah,
I'm looking at. I'm like, okay, everyone's building, everyone's editing, and I play Fortnite a lot, obviously now, and I understand what's happening. But it's like if I sat my dad down in front of the TV and I was like, "Hey, Dad, watch this Endgame Fortnite," he'd be like, "What am I looking at?"
My parents watch it all the time, and I can't even like. My dad's learned a lot about it, but I still know when he watches like competitive stuff, like he has no idea. I'll never forget. My mom watched like 20 COD events that I went to, and would watch online, and then finally came to Call of Duty Championships and Infinite Warfare, and after watching 20 plus events, she comes up and she's like, "You know what I just found out? That they don't see each other through the walls because CODcaster has X-ray." And when she said that, it literally made me a better caster because that was like Friday. She said it.
Yep.
And for champs, we're literally told like, "Hey, there's going to be more eyes than normal on this. There's going to be new people coming into competitive Call of Duty. You want to explain the terms a little bit more." Like Fortnite's doing a good job of that, setting up for World Cup. Like they have all these informative videos being made.
Yep.
But when I heard that, I was like, "Holy shit!" Like I can't assume anything with any viewer. Like someone's got to be the one to make sure they know, like, hey, this or that. And like you'll hear in a podcast, like randomly in a grand finals, like Maven will be like, "And as you know, in the spectator client, we can see through the walls, but they can't," just to make sure everyone knows just a little tiny bit.
I think for me, Call of Duty is, and of course I'm biased, is a lot more digestible than a lot of other games that you might watch in esports. And for me, I'm just such an FPS purist, and I fell in love with Major League Gaming with Halo. And I'm still convinced to this day. Tim, did you play Halo at all?
Yeah, I played growing up, obviously.
Yeah, of course. So I'm still convinced to this day that if they never made another game after Halo 3, that Halo would be much like CSGO and would be incredibly popular as an esport. And one of the things that I actually really love to talk about is that back in the day when Halo was like the star of the Major League Gaming professional circuit, and then StarCraft 2 came in, and Call of Duty, whatever the case may be, I think I'm so curious how big the Halo following actually was.
Oh, yeah.
Because they would have the events on like the USA Network, and that was before Twitch TV was really prevalent. And I'm just so curious how big Halo professionally the audience actually was. Because I just think that game was so easy to watch. The highlights, which is really, really important for like excitement while you're watching an event, it was so incredible. Someone pick up the sniper, a rocket spawn up, really big play, like, but the 49-49, like lockout or pit, it's unbelievable.
I almost think now to where Epic is today and the stuff that they've done with Fortnite, it makes my mind go like, I wonder how much they look at Halo 3 and go, look what this game had to offer. Like, look what they did. And just like now they're doing it in today's time with how much bigger the gaming audience is for one. Free-to-play game, obviously. But like Halo 3, September 25th, 2007, had a full functioning theater, a fantastic ranked, a social playlist, a brilliant campaign.
Didn't they have Forge too?
The incredible Forge mode, file share, where you could go and download and take screenshots and upload art and everything. It was so far ahead of its time and only on Xbox that imagine if a game like that well done is released in today's time with the free-to-play cross-platform everything, it would be absolutely insane.
Oh yeah, and everyone played it too. Everyone I knew loved Halo. Like there wasn't really any person that in my friend circle growing up that was like Halo. I'm good.
I'm good on that.
Think of how insane Halo is. I've said this many times. There has not been a good Halo game in 12 years. Since Halo 3 was in 2007.
Yeah.
I genuinely say that. There hasn't been a well-loved across-the-board Halo game in 12 years, and it still has legs like it does today. the fact that it's these huge announcements. Don't worry, you didn't break the desk.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Well, you didn't see it from the audio side. My audio friends,
Yeah,
Tim.
I bumped the table.
This is
bump the
sturdy
table.
mahogany, if you didn't know. Very quality built desk. No, I completely agree with you. Halo 3, people were buying Xboxes just to play it. I still believe that Halo 2 was the best Halo of all time. I actually don't think Halo 5 was that bad. I just felt like Halo's reputation as a franchise just has such a negative connotation now that a lot of people didn't give it its fair shot. And that's the other thing, too, that I just can't understand from Epic Games is Gears of War 5. Listen, my first MLG event was MLG Chicago 2007. I loved Gears of War 1. It's one of my favorite games of all time.
Yep.
But they need to take this franchise out back with a 12 gauge and just end it. Like, come up with some original IP. I love Gears of War, and I know there's an audience that still loves Gears of War, but they're continuing to try to push this game as an esport, and just nobody's watching it. And I respect the hell, like I said, or like I'm saying now, out of all the professional players in the scene, like I respect you. I respect the fact that you're passionate about the game. And esports, I know, is not the only subsection of the Gears of War 5 or the Gears of War franchise. But fuck, man, like how many different iterations, how many E3s am I going to go to where I see a Gears of War reveal? Like, come up with some new games.
I loved Gears. It's one of my favorite series ever. Like as far as storyline goes, I was never really good at multiplayer.
General Ram.
Yeah, I was never really good at the multiplayer. I had fun with it, right? But I wasn't, I just ran around with the chainsaw. I'm just like trying to, just having fun with it. But the campaign sucked me in, and I remember I think it was Gears 3. Was that was the last? That was like the. That was Ram, right? Which one? No,
Ram was Gears of War 1, which was like an iconic villain.
And after Gears 1, it was like, okay, this game's sick. And then it was the Hive Queen. I think it was 3.
I never played the campaigns too much.
It was 3. I think it was 3. I don't want to be wrong here, but Gears 3, I think it was. After that one, I was like, okay, like that was a good arc. That was a good story arc.
Yep.
And then
I never really touched Gears 4. I played a little bit of Gears 3.
I guess for me, then it's more about the multiplayer because I'm sure the stories have been incredible. I've just never been much.
Story-wise, I loved it.
So maybe I should just shut the fuck up.
Gears 2 story was awesome.
Yeah, I should just shut up.
We mentioned E3 for a second. Tim, I have a question for you.
Yeah, sure.
Can we play Borderlands 3 together when it comes out?
I'm totally down. I love Borderlands. That's another game. So like, there's games that I've streamed and kind of found a niche in that I enjoy, and that's really important for me because I'm more of a. Once I find a game I like, I want to play it a lot. So like when I found Overwatch, I played it for like 2 years straight. That's it. And so like now I'm on Fortnite and I love Fortnite. But Borderlands is another. I love. It was Borderlands. I played Borderlands 1 and Borderlands 2, but Borderlands 1 was really the one that I like fell in love with. I was like, dude, this game's sick. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna stream Borderlands 3 for sure. And if you want to play together, I guess
I want to jump into your head because I feel like I just haven't played enough video games because I'm very similar to you where I find a game and I stick with it and it's all I play. Yep. But I feel like there's just so much more out there for me to enjoy and consume, and I just haven't given it the time of day. The one game that I just want to see that I fell in love with, the first Xbox 360 game that I ever played was Oblivion. The Elder Scrolls, and I never knew a game like that existed. And then when Skyrim came out, I think I locked myself in my room for 2 weeks straight and played that game until my eyes were bleeding. I just want another Elder Scrolls. I would need another Elder Scrolls.
I mean, that's been the meme, right? Is that they put Skyrim on like everything. Like every time there's been an E3 or some sort of game announcement, it's been like Skyrim on the phone, Skyrim on your Switch, Skyrim on the Wii U, Skyrim on the. It's like, did you just put the Skyrim reverse compatible on that original Xbox? Like at this point, like bro, they put it everywhere. But yeah, Skyrim was a really special experience for me. I want to play more single player type co-op type games. Like the times that we've done stuff has been a blast. But obviously Uno and those party games are specifically meant to yell at each other. But like Cyberpunk, I'm actually really excited for, even though I've never kind of experienced a game from CD Projekt Red ever in its full. Like I only played like an hour of The Witcher 3.
Well, you got Keanu Reeves. We should play Portal 2 together and see if we want to kill each other during or after.
No, I've asked him. I've asked Lupo to all play Portal 2. I'm down.
I tried Portal with someone. I can't remember. It was like one stream years ago. And I was like, this game is hard, like, because I'm an idiot, and I'll admit that.
Stop.
Because I'm an idiot.
I'm not the brightest bulb, you know. So like, I walk into Portal, I'm like, all right, I need to get there, and I have this, and all right, and then it's almost bad for me to stream games like that because my chat gets so frustrated.
It's so mad
because I'm so dumb, and they're like, is he really this dumb? And then I'm like, yeah, I can't figure this out, and it turns into like my chat. It's almost like Twitch plays when I try a game like that because they're like, do this, and I try it and it works. I'm like, oh.
No, dude.
That made so much sense. Why couldn't I see that? I honestly have never, nothing that anybody's ever said in this podcast has resonated with me so much.
Oh, yeah.
Dude.
Like, I tried playing, what's The Last of Us.
Oh, dude.
That.
And my chat was like, you're a fucking moron. Like, people were clicking out.
Roll the
because they couldn't figure it
firebomb,
out.
then hit the brick. Dude,
That's part of the reason I don't stream a ton of single player games and stuff like that, because Twitch chat ends up being so frustrated with me because it takes me a really long time to play single player games. So yeah, I'm just like, because if I play off stream, I'm, sitting in a beanbag chair, just relax.
Miller Lights in hand.
Yeah, Miller Lights in hand, of course. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, so like, all right, we got this room. Nice room. And I'm just kind of like walking around patiently, and chat's like, hey, just go right there. It's right there. I understand you've played this before. I haven't, and I'm just trying to really figure everything out and take everything in.
You reproach it from such a rational standpoint. Okay,
Right,
sorry. I'm very sorry that I cut you off.
No, you're good.
I'm trying to improve on that. On
That's
the
all right.
podcast.
When I play a single player game, if I find one room that has a little secret item in it, my mind is fucked for the rest of the game, because then I'm like, every closet I walk past, I'm like, oh, if I walk in there, I could find the legendary armor loot. I need to check it if it's there. And I'm like this, open the bathroom door in the game, check the stalls, nothing. Do the same thing in the next room. So like when I'm playing those games, Twitch chat's like, there's nothing in here, you fat ass.
Yeah,
like, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
Why are you going this way? I've been playing this game Hollow Knight, and they give you no information. I thought this was going to be like a little 6 to 8 hour playthrough. I wind up finding out it's a 60+ hour game.
Oh, God.
And I'm on like hour 7, and people are like, oh, cool, you just beat the first mini boss. There's 14 of those. I'm like, I'm sweating trying to figure this game out right now. And Twitch chat the whole time is like, fuck, you're stupid. I'm like, all right, guys. I know nothing about this game.
You know what? I'm really proud of us. I feel like we just talked about games in this episode's enough to now be like officially a part of like the games and hobbies like iTunes category.
Can't get kicked out now.
You can't kick us out of it. It's just like sailing off into the distance. I actually want to jump a little bit personally into your world.
Sure.
I want to say congratulations once again on video and on audio on your recent son's birth.
Yeah, dude.
Brewer.
Yeah, Brewer, son in the world.
Can you tell me? Because it's terrifying for me. What's it like being a father now?
So most parents that I would talk to, they would explain it to me, and they'd say, you can't really explain it. And I always heard that, and I was like, I'm sure they're right. And when he first was, the first sound I ever heard him make when he was first, into the world, I was like, wow. It was just a different, so many waves of emotion obviously come over you, and they're right. You can't really explain it. And it's, he's 2 months right now, and he's when we first month he was every 2 hours he was eating. He's a big boy. He's 17 pounds already. He's 2 months, and he's in 6 to 9 month clothes. So like he's shocker to my shocker to my kid.
You got to carry on the girth quick.
Yeah, right. That's right.
Hey, we're getting going.
So he's a big kid, and he's eating a lot. So like he was eating every 2 hours, and he would like wah. And then you'd feed him and burp him, and then be like, all right, that's sweet. And then he'd wake up 2 hours later, like, hey, I'm hungry again. So now he's starting to go 4 to 5 hours at a time, which is great. But like, overnights are hands down the hardest, because one tip that someone told me was to sleep when he sleeps, which if you're a new parent, sleep when your baby sleeps, because like you try and stay up. Let's say he's asleep during, 5 o'clock at night, and then you're trying to stay up. And then he gets up at 10 when you want to go to bed, and he doesn't want to go to bed for another 3 hours. So now you lost that time earlier, and now you're up till 1 or 2 and you're gassed. Yeah. So like overnights are definitely the hardest. Alexis, my wife, she does, thank God for her, because she lets me sleep. I'm usually getting a solid 6 hours a night right now, and she's kind of taking the brunt of waking up doing all the overnight stuff so I can stream and do everything I need to, which is obviously really appreciated from her.
The one phenomenon that I'm always curious about when you mention like the wave of emotion that you really can't explain until you become a father or a mother is like the just the instinctual obligation that you have to this child.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, in that moment, your life is no longer your life is no longer your priority.
Yeah, exactly.
Not
but
about me anymore.
I'm obsessed with like the biological like instinct that like a parent could have. Because I mean, if you're me and Jack are obviously both single. I don't have any kids that I know of that are walking around this earth. But I was talking to my partner John, who recently announced that he's having a baby, and his wife is incredible, and I'm so excited for them. But he went back to his like 15th year reunion for his college. And whenever they do that, they go to like their old frat house and they're drinking a ton. And there was this one specific moment when we were in San Francisco. He was telling me the story of his wife she was a little worried about, obviously she's bearing his child and she's carrying the child around.
Right.
And it was just getting a little too rowdy. Everyone's having a lot of fun. There's beers flying around. People are getting pushed. And she went up to John and she said to him like, hey, I don't feel comfortable here right now. I think I'm going to go home. And then John, for whatever reason, it just kicked in. He's like, holy shit, this is my child. This is my wife. I need to protect them. Like, he's like pushing people out of the way. And it's like the Secret Service trying to like part the Red Sea and get her out. And I think he told me that was like the first moment that he was like, holy God, I have this is my child and my wife, and I need to protect them at all costs.
It's almost like a primal instinct.
That's what I'm trying to nail down.
It's almost like the way we were designed. It's when all of a sudden you have, your own
Your seed.
son, daughter. Yeah, right. Your own seed. You're all of a sudden you're like, oh, I need to make sure that everything's okay, for him. And we had something similar kind of happen with like, Alexis was very pregnant at this time, and she obviously, when they're pregnant, there could be emotional kind of swings and stuff like that. And we were out to eat somewhere, and it wasn't a good dining experience. The waitress was just being rude for whatever reason. I'm not really one to complain. It's kind of just whatever. But I almost feel like rather than I was the one that was kind of vocal to say like, hey, like, we're just going to like go and end up, I paid for the meal obviously and stuff like that. But like typically Alexis is more the one to do that. And I'm laid back. I'm pretty calm and stuff. But when Alexis was really pregnant, if there were things that were like almost like, making her uncomfortable or something like that, I'm like, hey, let's just relax. Everyone relax here. Okay. Let's just like, knock this off. And but like, it's so weird because I'm never like that now, with Brew, obviously, I mean, once I saw him, I was like, okay, it isn't about me anymore. It's about, Brewer.
Well, Alexis was saying that when you guys were at the hospital waiting for baby Brewer to finally be freed,
that's another prime example.
That something was happening and it was something I can't remember exactly if she explained it, but something was off or something like that.
She was in a lot of pain.
Yeah,
and that's really hard. That was the hardest part I think of the pregnancy for me was when she was in so much pain and there's literally nothing I can do because the pain is good. It's
can't absorb it
because the pain means that like she's going into labor and her body's like getting ready for him to come out. So like, but it's like I'm just seeing her in this like agony, and there's nothing I can do.
You're powerless.
Yeah, right. And it's like so.
I can't imagine.
We were trying to get she was waiting for the doctor. That was what was happening, and I don't know where the doctor was. Like, and the doctor, rightfully so, could have been in a completely different delivery room, giving birth to a baby. Yeah. And so I'm trying to stay rational with that in my head. But like seeing her in so much pain, I just went out into the hallway and I was like, I just need a doctor.
Listen, someone get in here right now and attend to my wife.
I don't care who it is. I just need a doctor in here. I don't care if it's our main doctor or whatever. But like that's another thing. I would never typically do that. And like it's funny because my rational brain, like part of me was like, okay, the doctor, they're probably doing something. Be here soon.
Look at the wonderful family.
Yeah, you guys are beautiful.
God, I'm hideous.
No, you guys look so happy there.
Much better looking.
Yeah,
you got really lucky.
You're batting way above average.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened, but
the last thing that I'll say from the birthing experience, yesterday, Dr. Lupo and his wife, who I met for the first time, they were here on the couch. We were hanging out like Dylan Francis, went out to dinner. It was great. I had a great time.
Oh, it was fantastic.
I love having you at the house.
Oh, yeah.
And she was saying that there's like a chemical that's released in your brain when you're giving birth that helps the woman forget about some of the trauma that they experienced during when the baby's actually coming out. She said there's parts of the day when she was giving birth that she doesn't even remember. And I've never heard that before. I didn't even know that. Yeah. Man, I don't know why I'm so intrigued by just like
human biology.
Like the biology with like children and your offspring.
See, I love like this is more on the random side, but like when you mentioned the protective,
I love
that side. Like that for me, I think
it's like the start of an anime.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like it reminds me of like when like Shia LaBeouf in Transformers would be like in like trouble, and Bumblebee would put the fucking mask down because he'd be like, "Oh, it's time." Bitches. Like
pop off,
like or like when they'd all be in despair, and then like Optimus Prime would be like, I'm like, hell yeah, it's like he's the dad to the whole group, dude. Yeah. Like that.
And that's why I know you love anime, because like essentially pretty much any anime that you've ever watched every arc is based off of like a family member or someone that they need to protect. Like the first anime I ever watched, Dragon Ball Z, and like when I think Gohan was hurt, or no, it was the Cell Saga. And Gohan was just watching his friend just get obliterated.
And first time he went Super Saiyan 2. Right?
Yeah, and Goku died, and fucking Gohan just blacks out. He just loses it.
A little bird like flies across the screen, and like there's like a like through it, and it just snaps, and he just lost it.
I'm not even kidding. I have chills right now. And Gohan defeats Cell with a one-arm Kamehameha, and he's got his dad talking to him from the afterlife. Gohan, you can do this. It's the fucking best. I just saw spit fly all the way across the room. I'm going to go back and spend 3 hours tonight watching the entire Cell Saga.
It's
And you're going to watch Hunter x Hunter with me, because there's a moment where Gon...
No spoilers.
Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it.
Okay, I'm gonna shut the fuck up.
Yep.
Matt and I made a deal where if Matt watches Game of Thrones, then I'll watch Hunter x Hunter.
You haven't seen Game of Thrones?
No, he did.
Oh, you watched it?
I watched all of Game of Thrones to catch up, and Jack told me as a trade-off, if I watched it, he would watch Hunter x Hunter with me.
It's fair.
Because I've now introduced, and I think I told you this, but I'll say it again for everybody listening at home. I introduced probably about 3 or 4 people that have watched anime to some degree, but never spent a ton of time doing it or investing in it. And I've introduced people who have never watched anime before, like typical frat bros that would never give it the time of day, the subtitles and the like, just it's overwhelming if you've never experienced it. Sure. They have both started watching together. They live together, and they are now like 40 episodes in under a week, and they're both working like 8 hours a day. So awesome. Hunter x Hunter, go watch it. Okay. I'm going to keep us moving because obviously you're here for E3, and a lot of things have transpired at this event.
Yes.
Okay, so the other day we were sitting on the couch, we were all a little bit hungover, and I am one of DrDisrespect's biggest fans.
Same.
I think he's incredible, his personality, the character that he's built for himself, it's unbelievable. And we were watching his first ever IRL stream, and it was hilarious.
It was comedic gold, man.
We were all just like glued
and laughing out like physically LOLing, not like LOL. Like that's pretty funny. I'm like ha. I'm like it's
oh, that's a different sorry.
I'm verbally laughing out loud, literally, and I was just so it was so good.
We were having so much fun, and I actually fell asleep on the couch. And
you were asleep too, right?
Well, we had done a night of drinking. Then we knew that night we had the whole YouTube gaming thing. We're gonna have another night out. So I was like, okay, I need to be mentally prepared for this. I was like, this has been great. I'm gonna go up, get some rest. I knew how big it was going, like how many people were watching, and I take a 45-minute hour nap, and I wake up, and the second my door opens, Tim hears me and opens his door because he wants to deliver the news, and he's like, did you see what happened? And I'm like, I just went on Twitter. I like woke up and like checked Twitter for a second and saw like 10 tweets in a row was about Doc.
Yep.
And I'm like, I saw a bunch of people talking about it. Like, what did he do? And Tim's like, he's just got banned for going into a public bathroom.
I saw. So Alexis, so you guys went to bed.
Yeah.
With this photo, for what it's worth, is incredible.
I tweeted that, and I think it has like 60,000 likes. I tweeted not that one specifically, but I tweeted like a different angle of him just standing over a bathroom stall. But Alexis, so you guys both fell asleep, and Alexis and I were watching it, and the cameraman, Doc starts going to the bathroom, and I'm thinking in my head, he's gonna tell the camera to wait outside. That's what I'm thinking in my head. Yeah. Like, just be like, give me 5, whatever, in his little personality, his DrDisrespect way. And he didn't. I was like, okay, well, certainly the cameraman won't go into the bathroom. And then he started to. And Alexis was like, this is bad. I was like, this is bad. I was like, what am I looking at? Why is he? And then I'm like, okay, maybe he'll just look at the sinks. So I just kept like almost trying to like in my head, like, okay, maybe.
Like what you were describing when you guys were in the hospital, when you were like trying to figure out.
I'm trying to like rationally, okay, maybe he'll stop and just kind of stare at the sinks, which wouldn't be as bad. And then the cameraman, Doc stands in the middle, and the cameraman is right at the urinal. So I'm like, okay, this is not
good.
He's all in here.
And then the first time it happens, Doc goes, "Give me 5." And like after they've already been in the bathroom, I'm like, okay, maybe that was like the sign, and maybe the cameraman now will understand. Let's not have the bathroom shot anymore. And then the bodyguard, the body guy, right? He goes into the bathroom, and the camera follows him back in. And I'm like, what is happening, guys? Like, how does no one have the like?
The logical.
Yeah, and I love Doc, but as a streamer, the first thing I'm thinking, like, that was a bad idea. That's the first thing I thought as soon as the camera started going in the bathroom, and I just didn't. I don't know, man.
So we don't know how long Doc's like actually have been
as of recording this, it's been within 48 hours, and we had no one sort of.
And there's no update. He hasn't updated or anything. Yeah.
And so as you guys are watching this, I know this happened about 2 weeks ago as you're listening, but I was very surprised as well because when I would travel, I would obviously vlog quite a bit, like a couple years back, and I would carry around this big A7S with me, and it obviously would be turned off, but I would still take the time to disassemble the microphone, put the camera away into my backpack, just because I didn't want anybody to even feel the slightest bit uncomfortable in thinking that this camera is on in any way. And I don't think that Dr. Disrespect, I know him personally, I don't think he has any ill intentions in his body.
Highly doubt.
I don't think he's out to get anybody. I don't think he's out to, film a 12-year-old kid while he's going to the bathroom. It was his first IRL stream ever, and I would like to give him the benefit of the doubt where he really wasn't thinking through the ramifications that would come or the repercussive actions that would be taken if he actually went into the bathroom with the camera. I just don't think his frame of mind was there because his character, for what it's worth, is in my opinion pretty tough to pull off in like a very extended amount of time. Like he's very funny,
sure,
and he's probably just thinking like in character, like what can I do to keep the chat really engaged and having fun?
Right.
Well, you could tell that's what his like goal was on it. Right. It was like when he was walking the convention, when he first started, that guy was like, "I'll get you a coffee." So remember, he like walks into that one building. It's not even the coffee building. He's like,
"Yeah, right.
The hell is this?" Doing the whole thing.
Coffee building.
And then like he's like, and walks out, and then like the way he stops the dancer and does this, like, you tell he was living like a reactive to what's going on around him and being willing to like take part in it, and was kind of thinking like, "Oh, this will be funny. This will be funny."
Yeah, I know too. Like I know he has an emote or something. I don't know if there's a huge thing in his channel, but it's like it's shit. That's what it is. I'm pretty sure it's a shit emote or something like that. I don't really. And the chat was all just spamming it when he was yelling from the stall. So I was like, maybe that was the correlation he was trying to make with it, where it's like, it's something in his channel, hot diarrhea or whatever he says. Maybe that's a thing.
Diarrhea.
Because I don't watch him. I don't watch him regularly a ton. I know he's a great guy and we're friends, but I don't know if that was maybe the correlation he was trying to make, where it's like, yeah, this will get good emote use or anything. I don't know, man.
The big thing that I saw, like there was conversations about it too, is like the phenomenon with Twitch, and we talked about it with like Tfue getting banned. We were saying this last night, is like when Tfue got banned and he comes back, the return streams are insane. It always seems to be, I mean, everyone knows the return streams that have happened in the past even with Doc and other streamers, and it's like your community rallies back around you.
Yep.
And even if the ban is deserved, it's like he's back from vacation. It's like we missed you. And people on my timeline were talking about it. Even other pretty prominent streamers were like, "Is that something that Twitch has to like address at some point?" Like,
there's no way you can.
But
not
what if you get banned for? The question was like, what if you get banned for 30 days and then like your sub button's gone for another 30?
It's unavoidable.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's actually a great point.
So then it's like, okay, well then you miss out. You because Twitch doesn't control the money. It's not like they're paying you. It's not like they can fine you a salary, right? It's like your money is based off of how much your community supports you.
And the thing is too, like obviously we don't know how long he's going to be banned for, but it was like one of those things where I'm looking on Twitter and I see a lot of streamers, a lot of colleagues, I use the word, who are saying that they're like, oh, that like some people are like, that should be permanent because that was
come on.
And for me, I'm like, okay, let's pump the brakes, you know, because I would like to think that intent would have some pull there where obviously Doc's not. I don't think he was in there trying to be malicious by any means. I think he was just in there doing his thing.
I mean, I think the biggest thing that people brought up was that there was little kids in the bathroom using the urinals. I mean, Doc has a daughter of his own. Right. I know the guy personally. I know what he stands for and who he is, and I just can't imagine in my right mind being like another prominent streamer thinking like he needs to be banned forever. That's fucking ridiculous.
I think
it was a lapse of judgment. It was a mistake. He's never done the format before. He should have been more rational and logical with his decision making.
I agree,
but it was a mistake, and everybody needs to get over it. And to your point, Jack. There's no other way around it, but people are always drawn to controversy and drama, and in some ways that drama and controversy can help more than it hurt.
Oh, for sure.
And so, like, when Doc gets back, his stream is going to be unbelievably big.
Yeah.
In the same way Tufu's was when he was banned from Twitch.
I bet he green screens a bathroom.
He definitely makes a.
Oh, man.
You know he's going to hand that up, bro.
That would be unbelievable. He just goes...
One of his scenes, he walks in, he goes, ooh.
Yeah, right.
Or it's like a bathroom entrance.
Yeah.
And he's like, going, he's like,
better.
Walks away from it. He'll ham it up with that for sure. I think I think my question is, when I look at this, is we know Amazon owns Twitch, Microsoft owns Mixer, Google owns YouTube. Like, when there are these live stream blunders that happen, especially with someone as prominent as Doc is on the platform, like, how far up the chain does it go up to those huge companies that they go, well, we don't, God forbid there is lawsuits that come, and maybe it's a Doc, and then somehow they try to spin it towards Twitch. Like, again, the contracts and whatever, but how high does it go up? And does Amazon, because there's obviously been things that Amazon has let bleed into Twitch from their thing with updates that have been made, and you're like, oh, okay, you can definitely see the more corporate side. And does that begin to affect decisions that get made about streamers on the platform? Are they just like, you know what, it's not even worth us dealing with these lawsuits or dealing with this person?
Well, I think that was the reason I see people going and saying, yeah, this should be permanent, which just to be clear, I don't agree with it. I think that
I disagree.
I think the reason people are amping that up to that level is because it's illegal. What he did was illegal. Apparently under California law, some thing about recording in a bathroom, it's an illegal thing versus something that you may get banned for on Twitch. That's against Twitch TOS versus actual government law, basically. So I don't know. I'll be curious. I'm kind of honestly waiting for him to say how long it is, because I'm assuming he would know, but maybe he doesn't. I don't know, or maybe I don't know. I don't.
It's not like the NBA where they or a sports league where they come out publicly with, hey, this guy's been
this is a 2 week
suspended for 2 days.
Yeah, you're fine.
Like you get it internally, and it's your decision.
5-game suspension, something like that. So I think he's just kind of sitting on it right now.
Most times people know within like 24 hours, so he's probably been told now. I mean, we joked, but it's like,
I think it'll work.
Hey, if I got a 14-dayer, I'm shucks, guys. I'm
going on vacation.
YouTube videos will still be going up, and anyone have a good vacation spot with a timeshare?
Which is that, and that's what a lot of other people are saying too. I see people saying that maybe Twitch punishment isn't even technically a punishment. It's almost like, oh, can't stream for.
And on top of that too, it's like, I would bet money, a significant amount of money, that YouTube or like Mixer would be foaming at the mouth if like Doc were ever in a situation where he's banned from Twitch permanently, to bring him over and give him a bag of money.
It was when he walked into the bathroom, like I think his average viewer count was about 60,000. 60,000 viewers, man. Yeah. I got to be honest with you. I was watching him do it, and I was like, dude, maybe I should try an IRL thing. Up until the bathroom thing happened, I was like, yeah, I'll just never mind.
I'm good. That many variables like triggers the anxiety that I once had, like when I was younger. It's like one of those things where,
and you can't control everyone too.
Exactly.
So like, what if someone runs up right into my camera and just just does something that could get me banned? Now I'm like, and then it's on my channel, and then I get banned for it. It's too many variables.
My mind goes to like even darker places. Like I'm not a big fan of like the IRL format. Just because I have social anxiety. I don't like to impose in people's spaces. That's why like I've always struggled with vlogging in public. Like I hate walking around like an idiot, like talking to this camera. And I can't even imagine, like I would watch Ice Poseidon streams like occasionally and just click on it because people were talking about it. And I would actually get anxious just watching him be so abrasive in public. and imposing on other people's like environment and spaces. I just hate that stuff. Like I don't know much about Ice Poseidon. I think he curated like a really big audience through something that was different, so I respect that. But the IRL format, it just gives me the heebie-jeebies. I just can't do it.
It's not my cup of tea.
No.
I can stream sitting and playing games, just chatting.
Yeah.
For like 2 hours where I can walk around. Like I'd rather sit, man.
Yeah,
Kidding me? I'd rather.
Streaming aside, I'd rather sit and stand.
Yeah, right.
Then we gotta walk. I'm like,
just to be clear,
I need to exert energy.
Yeah, Jesus.
yeah, I just like being in my own little world. But speaking of streaming, last week was actually a really big moment on Twitch because Ninja was playing with PewDiePie.
Yep.
And that was like the two biggest creators in the world colliding. The stream was actually hilarious.
It was.
And then you were actually subbed in for PewDiePie, right?
Yeah, because so what ended up happening was they won a couple and then they lost one, and I think Pewd thought, okay, but then there's a losers bracket, and I think there was like, oh, I don't have enough time for all this. So then Ninja, I'm looking at the DMs, the Fortnite Friday DMs, and Ninja's like, can I play with 1v2? And I was watching. And Ninja and I had something to do together after that was done too. So I was like, I DM'd him. I was like, if everyone's cool, then I'll just hop on and fill in for PewDiePie, whatever, and I'll do it. You know, I'll play.
Yeah.
And they allowed it, and we still lost because we were playing against the two ghost guys who are just incredible. And I'm like cold. I didn't play at all, and I just pop in, and I'm playing on European servers with 180 ping. I'm like, this is definitely not an ideal situation, but it was fun. It was just funny because Pewds was like, I gotta go, and I didn't want Ninja to have to play 1v2. You know?
Did you guys watch the whole stream?
I was watching it because I had to be. Yeah, I was like, because like I said, we had something to do after that, so I was kind of just waiting, and when he was done, I was gonna hop on so we could do.
There's some days on Twitch where I'm just like, I could go live, but I also just want to watch this right now.
Yep.
And like, that's how I feel when I watch like some of my favorite streamers / like a moment like that. I just can't miss it. I used to have that. I used to have that a ton with Doc back on like H1 days and stuff like that. I'd be like, man, I could go play H1 and stream it, or I could just watch Doc play it. And
I was thinking about going to E3 that day. Doc was doing his IRL stream, but then I just sat down and watched it. I was like, this is gold.
Yeah.
I don't want to miss this.
we literally said like, oh, I don't need to go to the convention. For
Yeah.
I mean, it's taken Doc a while to get around it, but
Oh my God! He was like, it's 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And I'm not inside. He's like,
Where's the entrance?
Dude, when he was at that little, like, when he asked her how to get in, then, like, went to that one little booth area and was stuck there for, like, 15 minutes outside, and then went and asked the same guy again. He's like, how do I get in? I was like, bro, he has not made it in the damn door yet.
My favorite part of all the interactions that he had was when somebody asked him for a picture, as soon as they got their phone out of their pocket, he would just walk away and would not say anything.
And it's his character, obviously.
Yeah.
And then even when he took a picture, they're over here, and they're like smiling, trying to get a photo, and he's like looking this way, and just no expression. And then they take it, he's like, good. And he just walks away. I was like, oh my gosh, dude.
I never thought that I would see PewDiePie and Ninja in a lobby together playing a game.
I don't know, yeah.
Listen, if there's one thing, like, PewDiePie knows what PewDiePie, because he keeps up to date with all the, he does Pew News and knows all about, like, the drama and stuff going on, and this person did an oopsie, like, Ninja had brought up about streaming, and one time PewDiePie had a slip up around a bridge in PUBG, and
he found out bridges were in Fortnite.
And he found out bridges were in Fortnite, so like, they were memeing about that, and then PewDiePie just goes back to Tyler and goes, let's just make sure you don't start rapping any lyrics or something like that.
Yeah,
live
right.
on the
So
stream.
it's like
they're like, okay,
they're both taking little jabs.
Yeah, I loved it. They had a really good dynamic. I'm happy it went so well.
It's flowed pretty seamlessly, in my opinion. Like they both got along with each other great, and it was really funny to watch. So.
And that was the most viewers I've seen. I mean, Ninja always crushes on stream. I always see him with like 60, 70,000 people watching like any given day. But I saw him with like 200,000 viewers, and then PewDiePie was streaming to some website I've never heard of and had like 150,000 people watching him.
Power Pewd, man. PewDiePie.
Dude, when he streamed Fortnite on YouTube and he was doing the Battle versus T series, he had like, I think it was like 600K.
If the apocalypse went down, I would go to PewDiePie and Ninja and ask them to curate like an army for us, so that we could survive. I mean, imagine the amount of...
They're called the 9-year-old army, PewDiePie's.
Imagine how many people he could mobilize.
Yeah.
We would survive.
How many subs does he have right now? Is he
PewDiePie's 96 million, and T-Series is like 101 now.
Unbelievable.
It's funny how that battle was going on for so long.
Yeah.
And then
he was hanging in, man.
Now like they've surpassed 100 million. The whole thing happened, like no one even knows about it, because everyone's just
whereas if Pewds had won,
of course, that's all you would have heard about.
Right, yeah.
So he's still gonna obviously hit it and do that. What's crazy is like, I remember when he got his Ruby Brofist from YouTube for 50 because they have the creator goals, and for 50 million they got him like this Ruby style
Awesome.
of his logo, and it was like a big thing. And I mean, what the hell do you get for 100 million? I think you just get like a private jet.
They just give you the YouTube.
They just give you the platform.
You just get like a percent stake in the website.
Honestly.
Like, please don't leave.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd ever want to be in that big of a spotlight. I mean, I don't think, of course, I never will be, but I don't think I'd want to be like the #1 YouTuber in the world. That just seems like so much pressure. And it's probably even at some point, I know that both of you experience it. I mean, you have no anonymity. And I know, like, we're not movie stars or we're not artists or whatever the case would be, like mainstream celebrities, but a lot of the personal space that you have in public is probably just non-existent, especially for somebody like PewDiePie.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think I'd ever want to deal with that magnitude of pressure.
I mean, I will never forget, like, on the learning curve of having this happen, because obviously you need to get used to it. You begin to, like, now, I mean, you've experienced taking photos of people in public for years, but I'm now getting the hang of it way more in the last year, and you can tell when someone's recognizing who you are, and you're like, are they going to come up and say hello? You're like, okay, here they come up, obviously. But for me, it was like one of the most eye-opening experiences for me that was like a wake-up call. It was my birthday 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, and I went out in New York City. We did a whole, the whole night, had some bottles with all my friends that I grew up with, and I didn't eat enough that day, and the alcohol hit me a little bit hard, so I'll just say I was not remembering a lot of what happened. And the next day, I checked my Instagram DMs, and it was like, I can't believe I got to meet you. So nice meeting you. From apparently a girl who was a fan of mine that was also at the same place.
Ooh.
So next thing you know, no, nothing like that. But next thing you know, like, there's just like a picture of like me like in the crowd with all my friends, and like she's behind us like, and I'm like, whoa,
Your eyes are just glassed
dude,
over.
seriously. Oh, my little brother from my fraternity he was obviously there, and he was like, he just had me on his shoulder like walking home, like we were like walking arm in arm, and I was like, I want a cheeseburger. And when I got my cheeseburger, okay, Tim, when I got my cheeseburger, I apparently didn't like it, so I just threw it in the trash can on the side of the New York City streets and took his chicken fingers from him. Oh my gosh.
Have you had any horror stories, Tim?
As far as like fan things go?
Yeah, experiences?
So I always tell people there's a difference between getting recognized in public, local. So I'm from Syracuse. So there's a lot of a difference between that versus like when I'm at TwitchCon. TwitchCon, I mean, there's a lot of people obviously that know who I am there. And TwitchCon, back when I was a smaller streamer, I could meet everyone. And that was something I always tried to do, was like get through the whole meet and greet and meet everyone there. Yeah. But now, obviously, I'm at a point where it's like, I have to go. I'm sorry, I can't meet everyone. But when it comes to meeting people around Syracuse, I'm like, it's usually way more low key. Syracuse is a pretty smaller city. And it's like, oh, hey, you're that guy. And I'm like, hey, yeah. And so I talk with them. But the only horror story, I wouldn't even call it a horror story. The only time it got overwhelming around Cuse was we were out to eat at one of our favorite like local restaurants. It's called Tully's. They say they have the best chicken tenders in the world, which I completely agree with. I love them.
I have to go.
They're incredible.
Can I come visit
if
just
you
to
want?
go there?
Dude, they're mind blowing. I still have not had a better chicken finger anywhere else. But
that's high praise.
We talk more about this.
It's unbelievable. But we were there, and so it's a family-owned restaurant, and there's I think there's like usually it can hold up to about 200 to 300 people, and there's two sides, and we're in the side on the left, which is not the bar, and it's like a family room where it's just a big open spot where a lot of tables are. And so I'm sitting there it was a Friday night, and I'm sitting there with Alexis and her dad and her stepmom, and we're all just hanging out. And a table walks in of high school boys. And so I'm like, okay.
Here we
go.
go.
This may. And so
This is my demographic. Right here.
yeah, I'm like, okay. And so as soon as they sit down, one kid pops up like you see his head like he's like an ostrich or something. And he's like, Tim! And he just yells it across the whole family room. And I'm like, okay. Hey guys, so I get up and I go over there, and there's 15 of them, and I'm taking photos and I'm talking with them, blah blah blah. And so they do 15 individual photos, right? Because I was like, you guys want to do a group photo? They're like, nah. I'm like, all right, sick.
From my chicken tenders.
Yeah, so I do all that, and I meet him, and I'm like, all right, sick, and I go sit down, and the part where it got bad was other people in the restaurant were like, who's that guy? And the kids are like, oh, that's TimTheTatman. And then those people are coming over. Like, I don't really know who you are, but can I get your photo? So keep in mind, we're eating dinner.
It's the worst.
And so it's like it got to a point where it's like there's more. It was when it was the kids that knew me. That's great. I'm super stoked to talk. Versus someone that's like, you seem like you're famous, and I feel like I should get a picture with you because you seem famous.
Yeah.
And that's the one where I'm like, and that basically what happened was I the rest of that room ended up coming up. And I took photos with everyone. I wasn't like, nah, get out. Just because I always approach it like if I'm meeting someone that, like if I saw The Rock, right? If I saw The Rock and I would love to get a photo with him. So I always try to take it with that approach. It's not, obviously saying you can all the time, but I always try to.
Of course.
And so like literally, so we ended up finishing up dinner and I would say I took upwards of 60 photos there. And then the manager's walking by. She's like, be sure to tag Tully's in the photos, like while I'm taking photos of everyone. And,
at least comp the meal?
Yeah, no.
Oh, wow.
My wait
Best
knew who
chicken
I was.
fingers in my ass.
But yeah, it definitely got to a weird spot there. And we're walking out, and this was like icing on the cake. We're walking out, and like the 3 people are just like recording me, like walking out.
Oh my God.
And I was just kind of like, okay, that was like overwhelming.
Yeah.
Because it's like, and obviously a lot of these people didn't know who I was, and it kind of turned into, hey, I want to take a picture with you because I like your content, I like your whatever. And they knew who I was versus you seem like you're famous.
Oh, it's the boundaries thing, right? It's like my mom and dad follow everything I do. They know exactly how much everything's grown and what it's meant. And my sister, I get random Snapchats of her being like at college, like, here with the baseball team, they all love you. And
Right.
Like, CouRage, have fun, guys.
Right.
I'll come visit at some point. And but then like my aunts who aren't the most tech savvy, they see Fortnite and they're like, do you know who this is? And the kid's like, yeah, I love him. And the next thing you know, it's like, I'll never forget, like last Christmas, my Aunt Patty, love you, Aunt Patty, but she's like, we met a boy who absolutely loves you. We couldn't believe it. It was unbelievable. Do you think if I bring him over to, like, he's a family friend, if I bring him over to grandma's, can you say hello to him on Christmas, like around our Christmas? And I'm like, Mom, I need you to take aggro.
You gotta reel her back in.
So I'm like, that's like the home.
Right.
That's like my complete private, like separating everything from that. Like I don't need fan experiences at, my grandma's house that I've loved and grown up in for the last 25 years. But it's just like, I get call from my Aunt Mary Ann and Uncle Chuck. They're in a restaurant in North Carolina. Our waiter knows who you are. Can you please just take 5 minutes on the phone, or this?
My dad does the same thing too.
Oh, of course.
And I think for both of you, I mean, Tim, I don't know you as well, but I've got to know you pretty well. I think just from watching your stream and now getting to spend more time with you and just chatting. I think you two are probably some of the most down-to-earth people that I've met. And if there's anybody that I would consider approachable, it would be both of you. I try to have like the same mentality unless I'm like on my way to a meeting, and it doesn't happen as much as it used to when I was competing in Call of Duty. But I try to take pictures with everybody. I think the worst experience for me was when I was living at the Optic House because the address was leaked and it was very public. We were swatted a couple times. It was terrible. Yeah. But parents would bring their kids to the front door in like the middle of the day while we're streaming, and this one mother was so upset because we didn't invite them into the house. Like, I mean, and at that point, I'm just gonna be honest with everyone here because we don't have nothing to hide. I mean, the house reeked of marijuana. Like, I wasn't smoking back then as much as I was when I was like a freshman in college or anything like that. But like some of the guys in the house, I mean, it reeked. And so just having these kids, it's like one thing for like a kid that lives in the neighborhood come and knock on the door. Like, of course, like let's take a photo. Absolutely. But then you bring your parent and she was giving me attitude and sass because I was in the middle of a stream.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, with these kids, it would mean so much to them if you just invite them in and show them around. I'm just like, ma'am, I'm so sorry. I really appreciate your sons.
That's a bold question.
Yeah. Like you're the adult in this situation. Yeah. Like this isn't a normal thing to do.
Right.
And so that from that point on, that always made me feel real uncomfortable. My favorite time is when I'm at Call of Duty events because that's like my wheelhouse where I know everybody and it's fantastic. The best time to come up to me is when I'm drinking because I'm just like, I love everybody. Like, hey, of course, let's take a picture.
Please.
I mean, absolutely. And then they buy me drinks. I remember at Fort Worth, like 2 months ago or 3 months ago. I think I didn't pay for a drink the entire night. I did like 10 lemon drop shots. It was fucking incredible.
It escalated.
Yeah, it was so much fun. So that's the polar opposites of my experiences with fans. And if you ever want to take a picture, 99% of the time,
yes,
I'm into it.
Yep.
Yeah, just
I agree with that.
don't bother us at our homes.
All right, well, we've been talking for quite a bit here, and I know you've got, you're technically on vacation. We don't want to take up too much of your time.
Vacation, work, it's like a happy combo, so.
Tim's job is really tough when he's on
Real,
stream.
Yeah.
real tough, dude.
So we want to do something right now. This is basically a game called Stock Up, Stock Down.
Okay.
All right, and it's sort of like whether you think this topic, and individually, is the stock rising on this certain topic, or is it trending down?
Okay.
Okay, so we got a couple things here. Overwatch League. I know we talked about it a little bit. Do you think the stock is rising for the Overwatch League, or do you think the stock is moving in a downward direction?
That's a hard one. That's tough because I would say, oh man, I'd say I'm going to say down. I'm going to say down,
Okay.
and the reason is because the head guy of OWL,
Nate,
yes. He recently left, and now he's at Epic, and so he obviously, smart guy, knew what he was doing. Not that I think the person filling his shoes necessarily won't. It's just the thing with Overwatch is, and especially with Overwatch 2 potentially, like you have OWL, and I feel like with all that's being said about it, like it could be. That's a tough one because it could be trending down, but then again, you also have it on national television right now too. So that's a really hard one. I would say my immediate thought was down. But it's not like, I wouldn't say it's
not crashing.
cliffing. Yeah, it's
they need to reignite it a little bit.
yeah,
I agree.
Reignite it is a good word. I think there's a lot of potential with Overwatch for sure, and I think that if they spark it right, it can.
I love watching all different esports. Overwatch is one thing that I just have no urge to ever watch.
Same.
And
it's hard to watch.
would I be interested if there was more reason to? Like, I watch a little bit more when like the Overwatch World Cup is on, when like U.S. has a chance to play and participate. But like,
Yeah, sure.
Outside of that, like the Overwatch League itself, like the
Right.
thing that's on every week, I have not tuned in since Shanghai
haven't either.
Dragons were trying to go and break their get their first ever win.
Yeah, right. Yep.
Okay, that's fair. I appreciate the objective outlook.
Yeah.
I'm going to hit you with another one.
Okay.
The current Fortnite meta, trending up or trending down?
Down.
What's wrong with the meta right now?
It's okay.
Take a deep breath. And
Page one.
I try not.
takes out his notes.
I try not to bash Fortnite that much because obviously it's a great game and what they did. They have to be. It's very difficult to be constantly changing and have stuff be good. But holy cow, I can't find. And I know they just increased. It was 2 days ago, right? They just did patch the shield.
It was like a 8 to 10% more shield.
We had yesterday. How many were you? You were with us, right?
Yeah.
There, it was 28 kills out of Salty.
We just had a really big pop off.
It was like 28 or almost 30 elims out of Salty Springs, and no one had material.
You would have thought we looted one shack.
No one had shield. No one had mats. Anything. We're just like, how do we have this many elims? And I've eliminated people, but they don't have shield and they don't have mats, and it's just like where is the?
So I think the really tough thing right now is like, and I agree. I've been vocal about it. It's totally in a spot where it's not for me. It's like almost not the worst it's ever been. Like still, when most OP drum gun was a thing and stuff like that.
I agree with that.
But like looking at it right now, when you view it, it's like, okay, you've got assault rifles. Under the assault rifle category, you've got like the infantry rifle, you've got the heavy assault rifle, and the normal AR. For 90% of players, the normal assault rifle is what you want, right? Sure, the highest tier infantry rifle is still pretty good. They're still very good. But like the green and blue ones, and the heavy assault rifle for basically everyone. SMGs, they took out the SMG and put in the burst SMG, which everyone's been pretty vocal is just trash.
You said that you were casting and you didn't get one.
I casted two weeks of Fortnite World Cup now with the burst SMG in, and legitimately haven't seen it used once.
Right. That's
because literally it's like any gun you get above that, like literally any weapon, you're like
immediate drop.
I'm immediate dropping that.
Yep.
Like, okay, the drum gun's still there and doing pretty decent, but then they removed the P90 as well, the other SMG. Then shotguns, there's no more pump, so there's the combat.
Love the pump.
And the tac shotty.
I'm a big pump.
And the tac is the worst thing ever. And then you've got the combat, which
Storm flipper. I don't know.
the combat's just better in every capacity.
Sure. If you are fighting against someone that has a combat and you have attack, you're immediately at an extinct disadvantage.
And then now you have rocket launcher, grenade launcher, boom bow, grenades, proximity launcher.
Right.
There's like 6 explosive items in the game. Yeah. So like now there's so much dynamite, another one. Then you have the semi-auto snipers back, which whenever you loot that, it's the worst thing ever. So like I think the thing that I explained it to my viewers is right now looting weapons just doesn't feel rewarding because a lot of the weapons are just bad.
Yeah, there's only
and they're just like the weapons just don't even feel. They're just like, wow, where did the good weapons go in Fortnite? Like,
if you like put a scale where you had weapons that people are using regularly and weapons that no one uses and does not want, the weapons that you would like to see regularly are way smaller than.
Dude, the feeling you get when you loot a combat shotgun right now is
great.
like when you would loot a gold rocket launcher in season 2.
Yep.
When you were like, oh, I could just blow everyone up.
And when I open a chest and I get an auto sniper and bandages, I might as well just back out of the lobby.
Yeah.
You know?
Bring back Greasy Grove and Retail Row.
Retail Row, I'm going to always call it Retail Row. My home and native. I'll never call it Mega Mall.
I appreciate your guys' insights. So, Fortnite meta trending down officially from CouRage and TimTheTatman. We're going to send this clip to Epic Games, and now I'm going to
still love Fortnite. Be sure to include that one in there. I still love it.
That's going to get cut from the show. Okay, trending up, trending down. The Dallas Cowboys.
Okay,
I'm saying up, and I'm a Cowboys fan. For
we know
everyone that may not, other listeners that may not know, I'm a big Cowboys fan, and I do think they're trending up. Dak, I love Dak. You know, Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott's chemistry and the way they play together is unbelievable. Defensively, we're doing okay, a lot better than we were. You know, our linebackers. I mean, Jalen Smith is an animal. You know,
you guys did Des Bryant dirty.
Dez, I love Dez. I loved Dez. I loved a lot of people. There's some Cowboy fans that did not like Tony Romo. That didn't. Really
I love
like
Tony Romo.
Dez. I loved Romo. I thought he was a great quarterback, and I loved Dez. And don't even get me started on the ball that Dez caught.
He caught it.
That was a catch. Everyone, that was a catch.
right here.
That's a catch. It's
Head referee TimTheTatman.
that was a catch, 100%. Yeah. But Cowboys, I think, it's hard because we've had all these seasons where we go 8-8, you're 500, you make the playoffs and you lose first round, something like that. But I do think because Dak's young, Zeke's young, and I think that I think they're trending up. I think this year will be a good year, but I got to say I think the Browns this year will be the.
I just can't wait to watch Baker and Odell together.
The I'm borderline. I was like, man, I'm borderline going to be a Browns fan this year because I love Baker Mayfield too.
I love
and
Baker.
Then you got OBJ, and their team right now is. You could pop off for sure.
I've got Cowboys up strictly because the guy who used to cut my hair cuts like half the Dallas Cowboys hair now.
Abel the barber is the man.
He cuts Dak's hair and a few other Cowboys members.
Yeah,
he's 19.
He's
the man.
fantastic.
That's a strong basis for why they're going up. That's good.
100%. I think that's it.
Awesome.
Tim, you're the fucking man, dude.
Thanks, dude.
Thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Oh, absolutely. Thanks for having me, and obviously, staying here with you guys has been awesome. So thanks for that too.
I love how you're so laid back and easy to talk to. Like the goal for this podcast has always been, I just want to like sit here and have conversations, and I feel like I can just listen to you talk about anything, like for however long that you'd be willing to do it.
Oh no,
thanks, I think you might have to be like the first like recurring. Well, Ray was great, and so was Pokey. The first 3 guests have been phenomenal.
Setting the bar high, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. But
and we got Cloaksy.
Is there anything that you'd like to say? Any shout outs you'd like to give? Where can we find you?
Plug away.
Yeah, plug.
Twitter at TimTheTatman, youtube.com/TimTheTatman, twitch.tv/TimTheTatman, Instagram is I'm_TimTheTatman because I can't get TimTheTatman on Instagram.
Why not?
Apparently, I can't get it. I don't know if it's
There's an account that just says
I'm not TimTheTatman GTFO. That's all.
I'm gonna help you.
Hey, if you maybe I'll have it in 2 weeks.
If you get that, you have to get a. Oh fuck, we didn't get to talk about tattoos.
next time.
Well, that will be recurring, and the next time I'm out, whatever.
TwitchCon.
I wanted to talk about tattoos.
It's tough, dude. Yeah, it's a big topic for me too, bro. Tough.
He's got hand tats. Just look,
tough,
chat.
dude.
Jesus, I said chat.
I mean, wait. How long we been going for, Alex?
Little over an hour.
Damn. I would just love for you to explain your tattoos on the show. It's okay. We lost the
We
opportunity.
can do the recurring. We can do recurring.
Okay, we'll bring it back.
We'll say it ahead of time, and next time I'm on, we'll get into tattoos. Just remember, top of the list.
Yeah.
Tattoos next time.
I blame you strictly, Matt.
I know.
Yeah, guys, if you haven't already, I'm sure all you know Tim, but go check out all the stuff. Go sub to him with Twitch Prime.
Thank you. Yeah, why not? Sure.
If not him, then me.
What?
Tim's great. We love him. And thank you again, Tim, for coming on the show. If you guys haven't already, if you're watching this on YouTube, first, subscribe to the channel. Second, drop a like on it. Third, drop a comment on it. Fourth, go to Apple Podcasts. Subscribe to it on there. Fifth, leave a 5-star review. Sixth, head over to Spotify. Also listen to it on there. Sixth or seventh?
You're on 7 now.
Seventh.
You guys can add real good.
Yeah.
Count.
Subscribe to all of us. Check us all out. And again, leave a 5-star rating, and you might read it in the next episode.
Listen, every single episode we've done thus far, we're trying to come up with our outro like song.
Thank you, Cash App.
Yeah, thank you, Cash App.
Thank you, Cash App.
All right, so you got to make a melody, and then you got to give us an outro. So like, first episode was like do the CouRage and Nadeshot Show, and then we're gonna do like just give us something. Like you just give us some sort of musical touch.
What should our intro be?
Our outro.
Outro? Yeah.
I
think so. Like it more, I'm gonna punch you in the face and check it out and drop a like.
Yeah, that was
Well done, Tim. Hey, GG, everybody.
Watch our podcast or fuck you. We're out.
Nice, bro.
Sweet.
Hey, you love to see it.
Oh, wait. Keep it going. We're rolling. For the record, I don't smoke marijuana anymore. It's legal in California, but I'm just saying I support it medicinally, and I respect anybody that does smoke weed, but I don't smoke weed anymore. I should have prefaced that in my story about the optimism.